Yeah.
I am.
There we go. I forgot I changed the Discord around, but here we are. Welcome back in. Grey North Sports back once again. Another beautiful Wednesday. Armchair, I am in pain.
It's
I'm in
you
pain
are
emotionally, physically.
you're in so many kinds of pain.
The
It's
only
not even
saving
funny.
grace I have right now is that the Celtics are playing the Thunder, so I could get my heart ripped out in a finals preview tonight. The Cavaliers are rolling. I know we're not a basketball show, but is what it is.
It'll be fun.
Bruins
You're
we'll
in
get to.
physical.
I got a lot to
You're in
do.
physical pain.
Yeah, I am in
You're
physical
physical.
pain. I took a spill down the stairs on Saturday night, and
Can't do that.
no,
It's not recommended.
no,
You know what happens? Every year you get older, a fall down the stairs becomes more and more like deadly.
it really
I'm not
was.
even.
So I was at a friend's house for a party. It's a long night. It was also daylight savings time, which fucking sucks. Can we get rid of it? Watching my
Uh,
clock turn from 1:59 to 3 is the worst. I
it's
want.
the stupidest thing
It's
on
so
earth.
fucking dumb. And it was for farmers, and the farmers don't even use it anymore.
As a
All the
as a
farming
parent
states
of a
got rid of it.
child, as a parent of a child, worst thing on earth.
Sucks.
It's the worst thing on.
The other department at my job just changed the hours they come in at to an hour earlier. And like on Saturday night when I saw the time change, I was like, "Oh, double down on Monday's gonna suck for them." So
Brutal.
shout out, but yeah, fall down the stairs. I was pretty, I was lubricated at this point. I had a few drinks in me, some substances, and the fall didn't hurt. Thought it was fine. Like I was, fucking around. What do as a parent, armchair, you're not supposed to run near the stairs.
No, you don't do that.
I ran near the
No.
stairs. I ran on the stairs, and I paid the price. Was fine, totally fine. Danced my ass off the rest of the night. Had a great time. Even fell one more time outside trying to pee, and woke up in the morning and felt like I got hit by a train, run over by a four wheeler 3 times. Like could not move. My back is fucked. I think I broke my tailbone, but even if I
It looks
go,
like a Centrum bottle back there. It's every color of the rainbow. It's a
yeah,
Centrum bottle.
it's got more colors than the pride flag back there right now, armchair. It
Yeah,
is a tough sight, and I'm hurting, but we power
there's no
through.
fun.
No,
You power through.
I have a tendency to injure myself while
Enjoying some
intoxicated.
libations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. That's what happens when
It's
you're.
never anything serious, but enough to be like, yeah, I fucked that up when you wake up in the morning. But we power
Uh,
through. Spam risk
it was
calling
an.
me.
It was an. Ooh.
Not right now,
Uh,
dude. Can't yell at a
it was.
telemarketer on live.
I mean, you probably could, but it's probably not ideal. Um,
Yeah,
it was a busy week in sports, especially for us. We had the NHL
incredibly.
Trade Deadline, which was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Busy day. Some blockbuster moves that happened, and then we had NFL legal tampering period started, and then today officially, welcome to the league new year. Congratulations, hey everyone, we made it.
Can we
Brand new
just
league year for the NFL. Let's
why
go.
why do we have the 2 days in between?
It's the legal tampering
Tampering,
period.
the legal tampering period. Just
It's dumb. Because if you
legal
don't do it, you
mumbo
don't do it in that
jumbo.
legal period, like the Kansas City Chiefs and I forget who else with Ronnie Staley. Staley,
Yeah.
you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You're gonna get fined. You might
The
lose a draft pick.
Commanders?
It might have been the
It was the
Commanders.
Commanders.
Someone else tried to get him before you were allowed to get him, and that's a
I like how the Patriots weren't involved in that. Thought for sure we were going to be named in that too. I saw the thing pop up and I was like, nope,
ruh-roh.
played by the book. That's going to be us. Like the Patriots offered him
So
$35 million before
yeah,
Monday, and he still declined it somehow. Shout out Chris
no, we're
Godwin.
new era of Patriots football. We're gonna get into that, but I want to start off with the NHL, which was
Do we have
absolutely
to?
nanners. We have
Do
to.
we have
Okay,
to? I'm
so
kind of done with hockey forever.
I understand why you would think that. I get why you would think that. You want? I'm going to give you a minute here because the ownership group,
I've
for
no
lack
problem
of a
with the
better
ownership. Let me be clear.
lack of a better
Jacob's family's
term,
fine.
management of this team, they kind of fucked you here.
Oh yeah, they've been doing it
Uh,
for a
and and,
decade.
I'm, and I don't get it.
Two
CBW
decades.
saying Bruins are hot. Yes,
Yeah.
they have currently won 2 games in a row and are gonna fight their way into a playoff spot they don't want, and lose out on all the draft capital that they desperately need to rebuild. So I'm gonna give you I got to give you at least 2 minutes here to have your piece because, buddy, this one was not fun. Bruins
Nope.
trading everyone. You didn't just. It's not just. And let me be clear. Losing Marchand was a big deal, and for the price that you lost him for was also just asinine.
Yep.
But you also lost two other pretty significant pieces of this group, both of whom I actually like a lot. I'm not sure what the
Carlo
thought
pisses.
process.
I like Carlo. He pisses the fuck out of me, but I do like him. Uh, Coyle hurt. Pride of Weymouth. That's tough. Tough to see him go. Brad was obviously the most painful. 15 years in the organization, 16 years in the organization. It was a tough day the other day. If anyone saw my rants on Twitter, my my Twitter account just went full negative, like hate, heel. Like I was in full heel mode the other day. It came from a place of pain and a place of anger. And 10 plus years of the Bruins doing the same stupid fucking shit every year. And I don't know why, but the first time they did something different, it hurt even more. Uh, every year we have a fantastic roster. We've had a decade, 20 years even going on of the Bergeron years and Chara, and things were good for a long time. The fact we talked about it a lot of times. The fact that we only got one cup out of it is an absolute shame, and we're gonna look back at this era of Bruins hockey as a failure, and that kind of sucks. I don't want it to be that way. These guys were around for my childhood growing up. Like, it's the Bruins teams I remember, but they're also going to be plagued with all of these Game 7 losses and all of these years where we came up just too short. And it sucks. And Marchand said this in his press conference with Florida the other day. Like, Sweeney swung for the fence time and time and time again, and we came up short. Whether that's an indictment on him, the players, both, whatever it may be, we didn't get the job done, and that's all led to this. We've been kind of circling the drain for a couple years now. Like, Bergeron retired, have no prospects, and we just keep giving up more draft capital and any young guy that has any shred of potential off to the next, deadline acquisition. This year, decided that is no more. We're done with doing that, and we're going to move on, and we're going to be the people giving up the deadline acquisitions. I said last week that that's the direction we need to go. We had to recoup some of these picks, but Brad being dealt when he obviously wanted to stay here just marks the end of a full era of Bruins hockey, and it sucks because it should have been way more than it was.
Conditional second
A second, yeah,
with
and I'm like
it
if
can
you look,
turn into a first, but it's not a
could turn
great
into a
first.
first if they make like a deep run this year and he's a
It's
part
two
of it.
run. It's 2 rounds. Yeah,
Yeah, and
he has to play 50% of the
Florida's
games.
obviously fantastic. They could do it. When you look at all of the things the Bruins got back, like the whole page of, oh, this is what we brought in, it doesn't look that bad. I have it right here if I could probably read it off real quick. Um, there we go. So out went Charlie Coyle, Justin Brazow, Trent Frederick, Brad Marchand, Brandon Carlo, Mark McLaughlin, a fifth and a fourth. You got back Casey Middlestat, who's got,
I like Casey.
I do. He's a
I like
good
Middlestat.
player. He's had a somewhat down year, did not really fit in well with Colorado, but I think he's going to be really
Well,
good here, especially with,
yep.
wide open playing field. If you looked at the roster they trotted out the other night, this guy knew like half the team. I didn't know half the guys playing the other night. It was crazy. The numbers alone were wild. Jacob Lauko returning. I like him, obviously. He was here before. William
Yep.
Zellers. Murat. I can't say his last name, but he's a demon on Chell, so hopefully it translates. Max Wayner, Masul, Fraser Minton from the Leafs, who's one of their top prospects. He was a second round pick in 22. We got two
Yep.
second round picks, a fourth round pick, a first round pick, the conditional pick we just discussed. It's a full overhaul. And this is what needed to happen. The band aid had to come off, but it still sucks. And it sucks that we still, like, you've tried to force feed Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov into this team. And I wanted the
They're
Swayman
gonna.
contract to happen, but you spent 25 million average last year in the
I know.
offseason, and now you can't afford to keep your captain. You can't find a middle
No, no,
ground to let the guy retire here. Like, obviously, we weren't fucking good with him here. And
Yeah.
typical Bruins fashion, Jim, I'm glad you said it in the comments. We trade off everybody. We're like, finally, we're going to rebuild after 20 years of trying to make it work. And we win two straight against the top two teams in our division because that's what we're going to do. We're going to sneak into the playoffs, fuck ourselves out of a lottery pick because that's whatever you want them to do, they're going to do the opposite. And I'm out.
Boston, for a long time, has been a competitive team, and that hurts. You saw it with the Wings were in this scenario not too long ago where they had what 20 something years of consecutively making the playoffs.
Right.
That that hurts you. Montreal was in a similar situation for a long time where they would be good enough to make the playoffs but never good enough to win the whole thing. So they'd make the playoffs and they'd go on a couple of runs and they'd be like, "Oh, we're into the second round," and we'd lose to Boston when we had Kovalchuk, who was still one of my favorite Habs players ever. Short-lived but super fun. Um,
I love that the Thrashers always post their cap on Twitter. I love seeing that.
love that.
Like after
Lots of
this
it.
move,
Lots
the
of cap
Thrashers have this much cap room.
Still have tons. Still a big spender. You need a rebuild, and unfortunately, you're where my team was 4 years ago.
It's 4 years
You had
overdue, to be honest.
they went on their run with Carey Price and with Theodore, and they had no one left. Or sorry, Weber. They had no one left. Weber had no ankles left. Price had no knees left. They didn't win. They lost to Tampa, who was a far better team in the COVID run Stanley Cup, which is still LOL for the last. When was the last time the Leafs made a Cup final? And talk shit all you want.
COVID Cup, baby.
Still made it. It was arguably a more difficult Cup run the way that it laid out. But anyway,
To piggyback off of the front office, like this had to happen. The problem is that the amount of draft picks and just fumbling they've done the last 10 years, missing on just about everybody. The list of draft picks, the players that are stars in the NHL right now that the Bruins could have drafted and passed on it's pages. You have to scroll 3, 4, 5 times and get to the bottom of that. So the problem, on top of, like, yes, it was time to do this, and I think we got a somewhat decent haul back. You have to hit, and I don't trust this front office to do that. When have they given me evidence that they're going to do the right things? They haven't.
The issue that you have right now is you are exactly where we were with old was it Bergeron. Who was the GM that had my GM that had the giant? He had the pythons. He had the cannons. Anyway, it was Mark Bergevin, and that's who it was.
Yeah.
And he had a bad history of bad draft, and then they brought in Kent Hughes, and they brought in everybody else. They changed everything. You need an organizational overhaul. The step one is to say we are in a rebuild of some sort, whether it's a retool or a full rebuild, whatever that is. I don't know if you're going to go full rebuild because you've got Swayman and Zadorov and Middlestat who are still good players. So you need to do something.
David Pastrnak and friends. How Josh Allen was Josh Allen and friends this year with all of his random wide receivers he has. That's Pastrnak from here on out. Again,
worst
look
at draft Bruins or Belichick. It's Belichick. It's Belichick all day long. Don't even talk to me. Bruins drafted better than Belichick drafted.
I don't know if they did. I don't know if they did.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Because N'Keal Harry has like 36 catches in his entire NFL career, and most of them didn't come with the Patriots. And instead of taking, I don't know, Terry McLaurin or DK Metcalf or any of the other 40 receivers that went before him in that draft, they were like, N'Keal Harry is the pick. Stupid. Stupid.
Bill had hits, though. The Bruins have literally nothing. They haven't put out one.
Guys.
We don't. The last like true person we pushed through our whole program is Pastrnak and McAvoy, who were bona fide superstars. Like they were gonna be superstars regardless. I don't know, man. It's close. They're both bad. Maybe the Bruins are just more freshly on my mind. The Patriots are doing good things in my mind right now, so.
That's fine.
Backing off.
We did have some winners. We did have some winners in the trade deadline. My team did nothing. Quite literally nothing. They are 2 points out of the wild card spot though, and that is
They don't
insane
need to
to
do
me.
anything. You're just house money.
They didn't need they didn't
If you
need to
make
do
the
anything.
playoffs with the kids, fucking great. If not, who cares? Had a great season.
It's not like we've got the Russian coming in the wings. He's
Yeah.
going to be real good too. So yeah, they stood pat. You know who did need to do things and didn't get much better. I look at the teams that didn't get better, and like Edmonton needed to get better. They got a little bit better, but not really compared to the other guys. Um, God, there were like let's talk about Rantanen because this is a perfect time to kind of bring that up. Dallas is an absolute winner this deadline. They were already a great team. They were already in really good position, and they went out and got a guy who, for all accounts, had no intention of ever playing for Carolina. And I don't know who to believe. Did you read what the
I
agent came
did.
out and said after?
I
He was like,
did.
"No, no, no, you misunderstand.
The
I don't
fact
think we
the
misunderstood."
fact Carolina was so quick to move on from him showed like the team wouldn't have done that if they thought there was even a modicum of a chance that he was going to sign there.
100%.
They're in contention for a Stanley Cup, have been for years now. A guy like Rantanen could totally put them over the top, despite him not
Big
really
time.
fitting in for those few weeks there. Like
Yeah.
it's still not somebody you move off of like that. If again you had any inkling that he could sign there, I did read what his agent had to say, which is kind of wild. He basically was like Rob Brindamore, "Shove it, pal. You don't know what you're talking about."
Hey, why don't you shut up? How about that, Rod? I don't know if you want to tell Rod Brindamore to shut up.
Yeah, for
That
real,
guy's
Rod the Bod.
that's not the guy I want to fight.
I have a excerpt from the article that I was reading. When
Yeah.
Rantanen made the decision not to extend in Carolina, Scott, his agent, said he communicated that fact with enough time for the Hurricanes to find a trade partner that would allow them to recoup the best possible assets. Uh, that is not what Carolina was like from the get go. He did not want to sign here. If that's
He
the
didn't want to be.
case, why did you trade for him for all of that shit? And so, like, they were trying to negotiate a contract with him before he even got out of Colorado. And he was like, no, I don't want to go there. I want to stay in Colorado. And Colorado's like, you're headed that way,
Colorado's
pal.
like Colorado
I got your bags
won.
packed and your tickets.
Yeah.
Colorado won for sure. They're loaded now. They added Charlie Coyle. They added Brock Nelson. Like, their biggest issue was center depth, and they cleared that up real quick with a couple of really good pieces. The whole Rantanen thing is wild. Uh, I guess
Dallas signs the extension.
yeah,
Like
I guess
that
there was
thing is
only
done.
they said there was only four teams that he would have signed with. Dallas is one of them. 8 years, $96 million extension on top of the trade package they sent to Carolina, including Logan Stankoven, who I really like, a
Yep.
26 and 27 third round pick, and a first in 2028 and 2026. Yes, so two firsts
Where
and
do you
two
put
thirds and a prospect.
where do you put Carolina at this deadline? Because I feel like in some way they're a loser. Because they
I think you
had
lost out on the fact that you made your big swing on a guy who's not here. And then you now
well,
had to
that's just so.
recoup anything you could. The recoup that they got isn't bad at all. I'm cool with the package they got back.
It's not bad,
It's not
but
bad.
they gave up. But you gave up Natchez, who you
Correct.
liked. You
That's the
gave up
problem.
other
Is
guys who you
Natchez
liked.
is now in Colorado, and you
Killing it.
have basically not, like you traded Natchez for Stankoven, basically,
Yeah,
which you would have
and that's
never
not
done.
you wouldn't even considered. No, great picks. They got some picks back, and that'll help. But
And
it
Natchez is
wasn't
absolutely killing
helpful.
it with McKinnon now.
Yeah,
Looks
he
like they
is.
didn't even lose Rantanen.
No. Uh, you have any winners or losers that you want to proclaim? I think the Kings are a loser in my mind.
The
They didn't
Kings
do
are
anything
always
good.
losers. They don't do anything.
They
They
did
have
not.
no
They,
scoring.
they,
They
they
have all these
addressed
prospects, and
nothing.
they play great defensively, and they just have nothing on offense, and they refuse to address it. I guess they
Drew
tried
Doughty
to
came
with
back.
Luc Dubois. My bad. And
Yeah,
that didn't really work out, but I don't know. I don't like the Kings. I really don't. I think that team is heading nowhere.
no Chrome
I
Domes.
think the Avs bulked up. I think the Leafs got better.
They did. They did,
I have
but
I
they
have
didn't get better enough.
14. Same. same vein of where I'm going here. I have 4 teams from the East and 4 teams from the West. I want you to rank the 4 after the deadline. So we'll start at the West,
Okay.
since we already kind of talked a lot about the Stars and the Avs. So Stars, Avs, Oilers, Jets. I think the Jets got better too. They're a winner. They added Shen and I can't
That's
remember who else they
that's
got. But they got depth pieces, which is what they needed.
in order. I think it is Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg, Edmonton,
Agreed. That's the exact
and
order I have them.
and the reason I go that and that's not to say that I don't think Edmonton can compete. Obviously, you have Draisaitl. Obviously, you have McDavid. You've got Vander Kane coming back off LTIR when the playoffs start. He was basically almost ready to go, and they begged him not to come back so they could get some depth and salary cap relief. I know that there's questions about why, because they don't have that's part of their CBA. They don't have to be cap compliant. So that's the rule. I don't know if it'll change eventually. It'll probably change because Vegas circumvented it hard. Chicago circumvented it.
Dallas
during
kind of
the
just did to get Randon.
the Taves Kane years in Chicago. They did this, and no one said, no one remembers that, but that's how those guys won. Tampa obviously did it to win. Everybody that's in the last like 10 years at some point has probably done something similar. Winnipeg is good. They're a really good team. Obviously, their entire playoffs depend on Hellebuck showing up. Last season, they were a good team. Hellebuck did not show up. They got the doors blown off them in the first round, and it was like, oh, never mind, Winnipeg's out. So if Winnipeg can play better in front of him and he can kind of hold his own, they're in there. I think Colorado is the clear winner here. They're obviously the strongest team in the West, in my opinion. Dallas is very, very good. They're very, very close, but I'm going to give the experience and the Nathan McKinnon edge. I don't know how you can go against Nate. 1,000 points, by the way. 1,000 points already.
Crazy.
Yeah.
No,
Right, give me your
Colorado's
East.
nasty. I put a bet on them the other day to win the cup. Before the Coyle trade, too, actually. It was after the Nelson trade. So for the East, I have Toronto, Carolina, Florida, and Tampa. This
The
one was
Florida
harder
teams
for
are
me.
at the top.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's Florida and Tampa 1-2. I just trust Bob more than I trust the rest of Tampa. Not Vasi. Vasi's still Vasi, but I trust Bob and
They're
what
putting
Florida
a lot
has.
on Yanni Gord and Bjorkstrand coming in.
Yes.
Putting
Yes,
a
they
lot
are.
on those two guys. They need production to come around from them.
I want to be a Leaf hater and put them at 4, but I think I'm going to put Carolina at 4.
I agree.
Um, post Rantanen deal.
I
You're
think
just
Carlo
not in-
for the Leafs is huge. They're also a match made in heaven because they're both going to choke in the playoffs.
Yes. Leafs they still have to do something. They haven't proven anything to me. Like, not a thing.
No, they're still going to be what the Leafs are every year. I didn't put the Capitals on here because they didn't need to make any deals. They got Bavillier, which I like that
I like
move.
that.
I like Bavillier. But then they didn't need to do anything. They're kind of cruising right now.
They're in a good spot.
They're going to be the 1 seed.
Yeah. Where do you so we've got God, how many games we got left? 20 something games,
25
18 games, 18 20 games, something like that. Who do you see being the big like the movers right now? Cuz there's a couple of teams that are hot. Post deadline is always funny to me because some teams make the all-in moves and it doesn't click and they can fall off a cliff a bit. Ottawa made a bunch of moves. They swung big. Ottawa made a big swing early on with Buffalo, and they're on the edge of the playoffs. And it would be such amazing justice to see Montreal get in over Ottawa after doing literally nothing.
About halfway through that sentence, I realized where it was going.
That's cute. It's cute. I love Allmark, but not a fan of the Senators. I like the Leafs light.
Low key, I think Columbus can sneak up on the Devils.
I love Columbus.
No Jack Hughes the rest of the season.
I love
Devils
Columbus.
got a little bit better at the deadline, but I don't think they did anything super crazy. They had a bunch of small moves.
Yeah.
But Columbus, Fantilli had his hat trick the other night against the Rangers. Go off, King. He was killing it. I don't. I feel like they're kind of set. Like I don't see the Rangers making a push. I don't see the Bruins making a push. If it's anybody, it's going to be the Canadians and the Blue Jackets. But I mean, one of them's probably going to make it regardless. Maybe both.
Yes, one will make it. One will make it. One definitely won't. I think.
Surprised Pittsburgh didn't sell. Are you surprised Crosby didn't go anywhere?
No.
At
No.
26 and
No.
40.
Do you know why? You know why? The management appreciates what his asks are. You know, like
Right.
keeping your captain
Right.
sign. I know it's hard to believe. Hard to believe. I know from where you're sitting.
It's crazy.
Hard
I
to-
didn't know
hard
you
to
could do
imagine.
that. I didn't think you could
Hard-
do that.
Hard to imagine an ownership group going, we should keep.
Oh,
the
you want to
captain.
stay
Hey,
here? You want to retire here? Yeah, let's get a
Hey,
deal done.
Hey team.
Oh,
let's
we're
keep,
1 million off on our ask. Let's maybe meet halfway. The fact Brad wanted 3 years is a little crazy. I will say that 3 years at 7-2 is ridiculous if that's actually what they're asking for. But I find it very hard to believe you couldn't get him to go down to like 6-7 for 2 years. Hard to believe.
He's your captain. Just pay your captain. He's also your most popular. Like, so you have two players on that team that are like super. It's Pasta, and it's Brad. Like there are a bunch of other people that love Swayman, and like there's some like
McAvoy.
Zadorov jerseys and McAvoy. But like, let's be honest, the face of that franchise is Pasta, and the voice of that franchise was Brad
The Rat.
for a long time. A rat. All right, let's move on to a happier place for both of us. The
It's
NFL.
Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini
yes.
and Tyler Toffoli
Yes.
having a sleepover. If there's something you should never break up, it's Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith.
Literal children.
Literal children, the best of friends. They're inseparable. It's fucking hilarious.
It's like your four best friends playing Xbox.
Will Smith and
That's what-
Celebrini are 18 and 19 years old, 19 and 20, and Tyler Toffoli's 32. They're like, hey, if we
I
all
love
score, we all score tonight. You're sleeping in our hotel room. Like we're having a sleepover. And
Nope,
Tyler Toffoli's
having
like, no chance. I'm 32 years old. I'm not doing that. Forgot. Accidentally
man.
scores the empty netter. And then they're like, you're sleeping over, brother. We all scored tonight. And then tried to get out of
got
it.
the
The coach was
Jay's on order.
yeah, coach was like, you got to do it, right? You got to go sleep over there. Wild scenes. I can only imagine the stupid hockey conversation that was going on. It took my pain away a little bit. Good for the
I love
Sharks. They're going to be so good soon.
You know what else will take your pain away? Race week, baby.
Race week. Week 1, F1 is back. I started new season of Drive to Survive last night. Watched 2 episodes.
It is
One and a half?
by all accounts, it is edited like a soap opera,
Yes.
and it's like there's and,
It
they,
is
and
a
people
soap
know
opera.
better now. But people know better now. The difference is they're like, and Max was pouting, and it's like these aren't even from the same race.
Yeah.
They're just taking cuts from different scenes. And apparently, they also didn't want Christian to yell at Zach Brown, but I don't get that one. I think I would want more of that. Give me all
The
the
Christian Zach Brown beef started early on in Drive to Survive.
Love
It's like 10 minutes in, they were like already arguing.
Give me all of that.
Love it.
Any early leans? We haven't seen anything. My favorite part about this is that it is like a grid with, is it like almost 50% rookies, and it's 91% chance of rain.
Absolutely love it. There's going to be so many crashes.
Plan for a safety car.
Armchair F1 picks back.
I might have to. I got to see week 1, but you got to see. I'll tell you this much. Don't be afraid to wager safety car yes on for your Australian Grand Prix. A lot of exciting things going on there. We're going to see Lewis in Ferrari, which is interesting.
In the red.
Yeah. We're going to see Carlos in his Williams. Got some other guys that have moved around as well. Kind of a mixed up, mashed up grid. Obviously, the Papayas are going to be pushing for their championship. Try to get Lando Drivers World Championship, steal that away from Max. Red Bull's going to be back with a vengeance, although they didn't have the
Which
cost cap time.
which rookie has the most pressure on him?
Oh,
It's Lawson or Antonelli?
it's Antonelli. It's Antonelli because of the seat that he's
Taking
replaced.
Lewis's seat.
Yeah, you took a world champions,
I
like a
agree with you.
multiple, like greatest of all time. This is like, all right, and now coming in at point guard is not Michael Jordan. It's
Kirk Heinrich.
you know, it's worse than that. It's me. It's me. I'm here.
It's David
Hello,
Smith from Great
it's
North
Dave.
Sports.
It's Dave. Hi, I'm Dave. Hey, pass me the ball, eh?
Because if you're Lawson, like nobody's expecting you to go out there and compete with Max, but if you put up a couple races where you look pretty good, everyone's like, "Oh, hey, look at that! Liam Lawson's not that bad."
Lawson's got such a low bar to hit though because Checo was absolute trash.
Yep, that's a fact.
That's the difference. The difference is that Lewis competed, so you're going to see Antonelli's going to have a big gap to fill against George. George is going to want to run away with it, and we're going to see a
That's your MVP.
bunch.
Shea Gilgis Alexander just missed a fucking. He airballed the three. Airball.
He is an MVP though.
I know
He is an
this. I'm
MVP.
not trying to
Look at him.
disrespect him.
He's just he's playing your boys. I get it. You got to do what you got to do.
I gotta psych myself up. We were just getting smoked a few minutes ago. We came back. Do you want to get into some NFL?
We got to get into some NFL. It has been absolutely insane. I need you to. So before we get too deep into anything, I need this is recently released. Diana Rossini is reporting that Aaron Rodgers and the Vikings are
No
considering
fucking way, dude. No fucking way. Let's go.
the prophecy
The
will be
Brett Favre
complete.
prophecy will be completed, dude. He didn't fuck a reporter in New York, but hey, we'll try again in Minnesota. We're gonna scam some poor state for his future daughter's volleyball team. We're gonna complete the whole scumbag trilogy. Gunslinger Part 2. Aaron
So
Rodgers.
so right now, according to Rossini, who is so let's be clear, Diana Rossini is a respected reporter. It's Diana Rossini and Michael Silver of the Athletic. They're both reporting that Minnesota is considering Aaron Rodgers as they're evaluating their options at quarterback since they let Mr. Darnold walk, and we'll get to him. But holy crow!
I was kind of
Like,
shocked that everyone was like, "Oh, he's only like Steelers and Giants. Those are the two." It's like, are you sure he couldn't go to Minnesota? Let JJ sit another year?
AJ's coming off that big injury, so that's
Exactly. Like
kind of where my head went. I
my
don't
head
know.
never went away from there. And if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're like, you're giving me Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. They just bumped up the offensive line with a couple of signings. Obviously, you're probably losing Cam Robinson, but he was trash in Minnesota anyway.
Yep.
That defense is nasty. You just added Jonathan Allen and Niners Hargrave.
Yep.
Like, Minnesota is basically a ready-made situation. I mean, we saw it with Sam Darnold last year. Four-time MVP doesn't think he can walk in there and potentially win. Also, absolutely shove it to Green Bay.
It would be so poetic. I had to get your take on it because
I'm
it's kind of ridiculous.
so rooting
I've
for
been
it.
waiting for it.
I
I've
also
been waiting.
never liked Aaron Rodgers, and I always hated Brett Favre, so it's just,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, go. Just complete the prophecy.
just
Complete
do
your.
it. Do it.
You know it'd be hilarious for the memes, for the lols.
Just to do it.
Just go ahead and do
Like
it.
I said, just pick up some more of the scumbag tendencies along the way.
Obviously we're not going to read every deal that happened because there were a billion.
A lot.
Like a lot. I want to take you back to March 7th, because that was the day before the tampering, wasn't it? I believe. I call it the legal tampering bit, but that was the day that Geno Smith got traded to the Raiders, and all of a sudden things start getting a little bit kooky. Harold Landry gets released from the Titans. Um, bunch of people got released, and I was like, okay, well, it's going to be an interesting offseason because we got Geno Smith now going to the Raiders, and I didn't have them picking a quarterback anyway, but now Seattle needs a quarterback, and that's going to be a thing for sure. And then Seattle went ahead and said, let's just get rid of everybody. Tyler Lockett gets released. They trade DK Metcalf to Pittsburgh to fight with George Pickens every week. If that's not the most chaotic wide receiver room in the history of the NFL.
So hard to be a meme channel because instantly when I saw that signing or the trade, I was like, it's the fucking Step Brothers meme, like where they first meet. They're staring at each other from across the yard. I opened Twitter and there's like 5 people that already posted it. It's like that shit. People are so on top of stuff like that.
Way on top of it.
Absolutely hilarious. There's no chance. There's going to be a game this year where they both get ejected for fighting the other team. There's going to be a game this year where they both fight each other.
Steelers
wide receiver bingo.
DK was apparently rumored to be interested in a warm climate and playing for a contender. And do you know what cures that? Whole bag full of money, signed for 5 years, $150 million. It's not even that cold anyway in Pittsburgh as he buys his, $3,000 coat.
Waving at Myles Garrett, who did the exact same thing. Actually, I'd like to be a winner. And they're like, would you like this boatload of money instead?
Myles Garrett signed for 4 years, $160 million. He even released this whole
shitload.
My favorite part of the Myles Garrett one was DK requested a trade, but there was never like a thing where DK came out online and was like, "Dear fans, I want to play for a winner. Sincerely, DK Metcalf."
Haslam's Myles Garrett. Are you sure?
Myles Garrett penned a whole note to the fans of the Browns. He was like, "Dear Cleveland, thank you for everything. I am requesting a trade." And then they were like, $160 million? And he was like, yeah, that sounds about right. I can get behind that. We had another couple of big deals that happened that day. Max Crosby also signed
for a fucking boatload of money. I think we had the Crosby deal last week.
Yeah, so Crosby deal was huge. Myles Garrett comes back. Joshua Allen, 6 years, $330 million. Congratulations, sir. Get your bag.
And Haley Steinfeld.
Winner of one of my winners of the
my favorite Josh Allen meme is the, ooh, look at me. I'm Josh Allen. I have a rocket arm. I'm banging Haley Steinfeld. I make $1 bajillion and I run over professional athletes for a living. Fuck you, dude.
It's a classic. Every time he does something good, it comes up in my feed.
Yep. It makes me laugh every time. And we can apparently just keep adding to it because nothing bad happens to Josh Allen except not winning.
He didn't win a lot. Patriots were active. How do you feel about how the Patriots were? Let's get to our own.
I will give you a half hour by half hour synopsis. So as I said earlier, I'm very banged up this week. I left work early on Monday. So I came home right about when Twitter crashed, which was right about when free agency opened. Thanks, Elon.
It sure was.
Less politics, more making sure the app works. I saw Big Cat tweet that. Could not agree more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, not happy at first because I was just I was already not happy with Ronnie Stanley re-signing and a couple other players that I wanted re-signed. So, not happy for a while. Money coming off the board elsewhere, and
it felt like we weren't going to get anybody.
No,
because it was like all of a sudden everybody that was going to be a free agent was like, never mind.
But that proves how quick it actually happened. Because by like 1:30, I was like, oh, actually, I'm kind of fine. Like we had a pretty good day. But the first hour, I was just panicking because everyone was coming off the board. Milton Williams included, by the way.
Yes,
he was off the board, done deal. Like I think it even got Schefter, if I'm not mistaken. Like.
I might have.
He was going to the Panthers, and then all of a sudden the Patriots came in at the final hour, which that's a turnaround. Haven't seen that in a while. Yeah. Patriots coming in to overpay somebody to sweep them away from a different team. What is that about? An absolute bag for Milton Williams, and it could be an absolute unmitigated disaster. I have high hopes. I think he's going to be awesome. That Eagles D line, there's just something in the water over there. Everybody seems to be a star.
Yep.
But he drew a lot of single teams. He's going to be getting a lot of double teams in the Patriots defense.
Armor's there. Got some help.
For sure. Keon White's there. They just got Harold
Keon
Landry.
White's a dog. Harold Landry's a dog. Spillane is aging, but is still a dog.
Basically, all these moves we're talking about, all these new names you're hearing, those all happened in like half-hour span on Monday. And it was all defensive moves outside of Morgan Moses. And Mac Hollins, I guess, but I fucking hate Mac Hollins.
Learn to love him, baby. Barefooted motherfucker.
I swear to God, he only signed here so he could be in a cold place again, so he could go viral for that stupid shit.
I'm fine with it. You know, he had
Mac
36
Hollins.
catches and 5 touchdowns.
He's gonna take away from
Offense.
other people.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, who's he taking away from? Our wide receiver room is no one.
Travis Hunter and Cooper Kupp, hopefully.
Travis Hunter is that's the standard. That's where you can tell that the Patriots' focus was grab as many of the defensive guys, build the identity of this team,
That's where I was
and
going.
draft for the offense, because they're so like the Bills paid for
like $200 million on defense the other day.
Yes, but it was worth it.
Carlton
Davis.
Already familiar with defensive coordinator Terrell Williams, which I was listening to Jeremy's stream because again, off work the other day, and we had the same thought when the Carlton Davis news came across. It's like, oh well, Travis Hunter's off the board. Then the more I thought about it and looked into it, not the case at all. Lions ran a ton of 3-corner sets last year.
Yep.
The best way to do that with two rangy corners on the outside like Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis. I'm not saying Travis Hunter's a definite, but he's definitely still on the board. They view him as the number one corner and the number one receiver in the draft. They've been pretty vocal about that. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I think there's a chance that could still happen.
If you draft Hunter, you can then play him less as a corner, even though he is an elite corner.
Correct.
People are really like selling short the wide receiver tape. I think I need everybody to do me a favor. Stop being an idiot and actually go look at the skill and technique and stop worrying about, oh, he played at Colorado, blah, blah, blah. No, go look at what he actually did. He was getting like incredible separation, great hands, great route running. Like he is a top flight receiver here. And everybody's
Goal
like,
line work.
They should get Tet McMillan. Stop it. Tet's not a top 5 pick. Don't.
I like
waste
Ted
your
if we
breath.
trade down.
Yeah, I will take Ted at the 8 or
I'll
10
be
spot.
slightly upset if they trade down and Travis Hunter's still on the board.
I will also be upset if they trade down with Hunter on the board. They shouldn't trade down if they're not taking Hunter or I'm fine with.
We just lost
Will
Dietrich
Campbell.
Wise.
That's okay.
That's sad.
It is sad.
Dietrich Wise and Jonathan Jones are two of my favorite players, and they both went to the Commanders today. That's upsetting.
At least they're going to win.
They are. Commanders are going to be really fucking good. But yeah, so
yes.
Patriots defense basically paid for. I think they're going to be fantastic. Carlton Davis contract comes up before you have to pay Gonzalez, May, or whoever you draft this year. I like it. Pretty happy with the first day. I think you still need a left tackle. I think you have to go pay Cam Robinson, as much as I don't really like Cam Robinson. I think he's a liability.
I don't think you
gotta
have to
pay
pay
somebody.
Cam Robinson.
You don't? What do you do?
You draft one.
When? 4?
Maybe.
Are you a Will Campbell guy?
I like Will Campbell.
I like Will Campbell
He was
too, but I still am scared of the arm thing.
Will Campbell was in my first mock at the Combine. I had Will Campbell.
Yep.
Very first day at the Combine before we saw the measurements.
I think Jeremy did too.
Then we get the news. And then we had the news that that Schefter dropped, which is Cleveland is unabashedly considering a quarterback. One thing he said that I am confident in is that Cleveland is taking a quarterback. So with Cleveland taking a quarterback, Shador will go at 3 to the Giants, whether people want to believe that or not. By the way, posted his full media scrum on YouTube today. Still worth every watch of it. He is every bit of ego that you could expect. Uh,
Wonder where he got
the
that from.
Patriots, the Patriots are gifted with the four spot here. You're in the catbird seat, as Jeremy would put it. You you can take Hunter if he goes earlier. There, I don't see the Titans taking a quarterback. Everybody says they're going to. This class is
$100 on
cheats.
Abdul Carter, baby.
Abdul Carter is the guy that's going first, and I feel pretty confident in that.
Damn,
And then
the Ernie Bach Jr. is giving an interview at halftime right now.
phenomenal.
The Ernie Bach Jr. You wouldn't. I don't think
I
you know who that is, but he does local commercials in
I,
Massachusetts.
I don't.
Trust me,
I would just rather if you have to draft left tackle, you can go Will Campbell. If Hunter's on the board, you want to take Hunter, I totally understand that. I would too. Best player available. Take the best player available,
Yep.
and if
They
that's
said
and
they're
that's I think they're
shifting
going.
towards that strategy this year. So
So you're probably going to see Hunter taken. If Hunter's gone, then you'll probably see Will Campbell taken. I don't think the arms are going to come back to haunt him, but if you don't want to sign Cam Robinson, you want to bring a left tackle in that's a rook, go for it. Build the team around Drake. Keep going, protect him. You can get a guard later on. There's some help later on in the draft that you can get as well. So I saw someone say the Patriots should take Membu at 4, and I nearly spit out my drink.
who's
This
doing that?
Membu,
Who the fuck is
not
saying
even
that?
not even a top 10 pick. So I don't know what we're doing,
I
but
gotta
no
block
offense,
that guy.
no offense there. You want to go over some winners and losers?
Yeah,
Because
so
I
we
got
talked extensively about the Pats already. They're in my winners. We'll skip past them. Um, I have four winners here for you. One was the Pats. Two, I got the Broncos.
Broncos
Uh,
did great.
I think they did great. They didn't spend a ton of money. They got Talanoa Hufanga from the 49ers, who's out with a wrist injury last year, but he's been a fantastic safety for them the last couple of years in that defense. Drake Greenlaw, kind of the same thing, had a couple injury problems, but he's been a really good number two to Fred Warner there in
Yep.
San Francisco. I think those are both good additions, especially when you have the best corner in the league in Pat Surtain. You're not super worried about your secondary. Putting a guy over the
Nope.
middle like Hufanga, who's versatile, he can do a bunch of things. That's going to be awesome for them. Uh, the D line was obviously their other big strong point. So adding in the linebacker room is always going to be a plus there.
They added
Evan
Evan
Evan Ingram,
huge.
it's huge, and you know how Sean Payton loves his pass catching tight ends. Shout out Jimmy Graham. Also shout
Evan
out
Ingram's the
my I think I'm getting sick again, which is just awesome.
mother. Uh, Evan Ingram is exactly what Bo Nix needs in that offense. Exactly what he was missing last year.
Yep.
It
No
wasn't
more of
Bo.
the Greg Dulcich and Adam Troutman and the recycled Broncos tight ends they've had the last few years. They bring in a two-time Pro Bowler and Evan Ingram.
Yeah, huge win.
Uh, Next up, I got the Bears. They boosted up the offensive line for Caleb Williams. This was really the
Huge.
most glaring problem they had last year. If you watched enough Bears games, you're like, oh, they just have no time to do anything.
Correct.
Especially getting towards the end of the season. There's obviously some hiccups for Caleb Williams in there too, but the line was a big problem. They got Dahlman. Um, I I saw the Patriots linked to Dahlman. I wasn't super high on him. I saw a lot of Falcons people being like, it's very scheme specific. So see what happens with that. But regardless, they continue investing in the offensive line to protect their franchise quarterback. Grady Jarrett was cut by the Falcons as a cap casualty. Bears swooped him up real quick on a nice deal. He's going
Yep.
to be awesome in the middle for them. That defense just continues to get better. They add a top running back. I think they're cooking. Ashton Genty's the favorite to go there right now. Still have my money on the Raiders, but
I don't think he gets to the Bears. I think he's at the Raiders.
yeah, I agree. And then number 5 for me, I had the Vikings. We already talked slightly about them too. Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave being added to that Brian Flores defense just feels illegal. Feels like that shouldn't have been allowed to happen, but it did.
But it did.
They also re-signed Byron Murphy.
Yep. That's a great signing.
Yep. Will Freeze and Ryan Kelly on the offensive line, on the interior for whoever it may be at quarterback next year. Uh, Basically, the whole thing, they didn't pay Sam Darnold. They didn't need to. They used that money to make the team better elsewhere. If you were able to make a run last year, like you did, basically just plugging a quarterback in, no offense to Sam Darnold, You would think if you spend the money to do even more, it's going to be even easier. So I like the Vikings offseason. I have two teams that I didn't really know where to put in here. So we'll do
Yeah.
those first, and then we'll hit the
Yep.
losers. Colts. Spent a lot. They got a number one corner. They got a Cameron Bynum from the Vikings, who I really like,
Yep.
on a fuck ton of money. It's like 64 mil. Just
Yep.
kind of shocking to me. Daniel Jones coming in to compete with AR. That division is so takeable. It's so takeable, and all of these teams are just like, do you want it? Do you want it? Do you want the division?
Nobody wants it.
Nobody wants it. The Titans are the other team that I don't know what to do with. Like, both teams went out and spent money. They're trying to add. I just don't really like the additions. Dan Moore, open Moore, Dan Moore
The
Jr. for $82 million. dollars.
I was so glad we didn't sign him.
I was like kind of thinking that was who we were going to get. And then when I saw the contract, I was like, thank fuck we didn't do that.
They're both losers to me. The Colts are less so. They're kind of in the middle. I actually don't hate the Daniel Jones deal. In my opinion, he's better than Anthony Richardson at quarterback play, at actual quarterback play.
Saying
Anthony
something
Richardson
if you're
runs better. Well, it does, but he's so raw, it's not even funny. You knew he was raw. Please tell me that you have the Dallas Cowboys as a loser.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Because they did.
They
Retain
did
their
as
long
much
snapper.
as I
Hey,
did with a fucking
retain their long snapper. Good job. Good job, Jerry. Got
traded a
got
seventh
Kyrie
round,
Elam.
6th round pick for Kenneth Murray. Traded for Kyrie Elam.
Yeah.
Oh my good god. I
What is
saw. I
happening?
posted that thing in the Discord too. That like they hadn't paid more than like $6 million for a free agent since Greg Hardy.
That's awful.
Noted
They might
great
want-
guy, Greg Hardy.
I don't like it at all. They're awful. Kenneth Murray is not like. That's
Not your
big.
splash. I like Kenneth
That's-
Murray. That's not
we're
your
going-
splash.
You're going for that splash. That's your big deal. I mean, the whole thing is.
Just
Kyrie
lost
Elam
Rico
is
Dowdle, who
fine.
was like the only part of your offense once Dak got hurt.
They're in such bad shape. They're in
All
such
the
bad
way
shape.
out on Dallas. Restructuring contracts to sign a D tackle for you to then do nothing in free agency is just
Yeah.
loser
Yeah, yeah.
behavior. The worst of the worst, though, is the San Francisco 49ers. Hallelujah. I called this. Been saying it for a while now. Been sick of people shoving this team down my throat for years. They're always hurt. They always fold in the moment. I heard Jeremy today comparing Trevor Lawrence to Kyle Shanahan. Perfect comp. Super overhyped. Everybody just assumes they're awesome all the time, and then whenever the fucking moment comes up, they shit the bed. Kyle Shanahan is 28-3. That's what I will always remember him for. He can do all this fancy stuff in the run game. Doesn't matter. That team is fucked. They are dead. Every single person that was worth a shit on that defense, not named Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, is gone. The offense is Brock Purdy
Christian McCaffrey.
and Christian McCaffrey. Sweet.
Yeah.
See how long that lasts.
You gotta
Go pay
Purdy.
Brock Purdy. Do it. Do it. I would love for them to do that.
I don't understand it. I don't. So I'm not a certified hater like you are.
I would have
Of the
just been
40.
like, I'm gonna just cancel the season. We're just not gonna play this year. Give us like 5th in the draft next year. We don't even need one.
I don't get the Purdy thing at all. But I'm not a hater. I just don't get the Purdy thing. He was fine. He's like pretty accurate, and for like a 7th round pick, he's really like overpaid for his position at this point.
He's in the bottom
he is-
tier
he
of
is-
starting quarterbacks. He's fine.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not good. He's not great. He's not. There's
You would need to have generational defense, and Christian McCaffrey would have to have more than an MVP season for you to win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy.
Yeah, they have a horrific schedule next year, so that's gonna help them out. But they're gonna look like a Chargers team or a Bills team where you're like, oh, the quarterback is good enough to carry whoever's gonna be there, like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. That's not Brock Purdy. He's not gonna do that. He's not going to turn. I
No.
saw them sign some shitty receiver today, but he's not going to turn those guys into stars. He's not Tom Brady. He's Brock Purdy. He's. I'm glad. I'm
He
glad I
is.
don't have to fucking hear about them for a couple years. I hope everybody just gets completely overhauled. Brock Purdy's fine at
Uh,
20 million a year, and other than that, you're out of your fucking mind.
I had every intention of putting Commanders are a winner in my mind. They didn't need to add a bunch, but they added enough. I was going to put Seattle as a loser
I
until
have
they signed
Seattle as a
Darnold, and
loser.
they added Darnold, and I like that. The play action game there in that offense is going to be elite.
Green Bay is a
Um,
loser as well.
Green Bay didn't. What I don't know. I
They
hardly
signed
ever
Nate
heard
Hobbs to big money and the guard from the 49ers, whose name is escaping me. But their best player on the line is Elton Jenkins at the same position. So, I don't know.
it's not.
I'm out on that Green Bay offseason.
It's not great.
No receiver. Same thing as us. Everyone was linking them to receivers all offseason. They didn't do anything.
We have to talk about the Jets before we get on to Stone Stories here, because obviously the big news was the release of C.J. Mosley and Aaron Rodgers, and like they got rid of a bunch of other guys. And Jet fans were so ready for a Tyrod Taylor run season. They're ready for it. And
You
then
got better. You got Frog Boy.
you got Justin, because that's what everybody wanted, Justin Fields. I don't know
Ribbit
why.
kid.
I don't know why I don't like him. Jeremy says it's nothing but pain. He's not happy about it at all. I don't
I watched
understand
his
that.
soul leave his body on stream the other day when
I,
it got
I don't.
announced.
I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Someone said don't sleep on the Jets, and they have all these young guys on there.
Cool.
The same team that
I
had a
saw
Hall of
that
Fame
tweet and
quarterback.
laughed.
Don't sleep on the Jets, and everybody's reply is sleeping gifts. It's amazing. um, I like Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson and Braylon Allen and all those other guys at Brees Hall. Love them all. Garrett Wilson,
Great
give me
pieces.
all great pieces. None of them have won shit.
Ton on the defense.
Not a single. They put up like league average 20 something points. They average less than Braylon Allen's age. Let's go ahead. Don't sleep on them. Sure. LOL at the Jets for
The Steelers have no quarterback and let Justin Fields walk out the door.
they let him go, and then Russell was considering. Apparently, Russell was considering going back to the Steelers, and the Steelers were like, "We'd love to have you, but we're waiting on Aaron Rodgers." And Russell's like, "Never mind." And he took a meeting with the Giants and the Browns.
The Browns one makes no sense to me. Because you just
Makes
traded
sense.
for Kenny Pickett and you're drafting one. Why are you bringing in
Yeah.
Russ?
Well, because they may not draft for one. Depends on what Russ has to say.
See, that's stupid to me.
Yeah, I don't know
do
how much
what?
he has
You were awful last year. There's nothing on that team.
No, it's not any better. So
It's Denzel Ward and Myles
Uh,
Garrett versus the world. And Nick Chubb is your offense, and he's gone.
yeah, it's not great. It's not a great situation. We got a couple of quarterbacks still waiting to sign, and apparently the backup quarterback market won't go anywhere until they find out where Aaron and Russ are going, because they either don't want any part of it or could potentially have a starting job if they follow them. Both have been objectively terrible.
Outside of Derek Carr, those are like my two most hated quarterbacks in the league over the last decade.
You surprised Cousins didn't get cut?
No, I'm not. I feel like that will happen next year if it happens.
Now, I mean, it's easy. Once again, when you're sitting on a boatload of cash, it's really easy. It's easy to lose.
Sure is. And they have Penix, so it's not like I think Penix is going to be good. So I'm not sweating as much if I'm the Falcons with Kirk.
Yeah. You want to get us a Stone story and get us out of here?
Yeah, I got one from the world of wrestling.
Ooh, we love wrestling.
Indie wrestling.
That's
The best
kind
god.
of wrestling.
So wrestler Charlie Tiger was arrested in Pennsylvania for the second time this year. He's known in the ring as Charlie Tiger, excuse me. His real name's Charles Hutton, if anyone would like to get to know him personally. On March 6, 2025, at a Sheetz gas station in Pennsylvania, where I can only assume bad things happen, authorities say Hutton, 24, first stripped off his clothes and charged at people before ultimately stabbing a parked van with a machete. Afterward, Hutton entered the Sheetz store, where he was confronted by several individuals, including a Good Samaritan, who successfully disarmed him. Hutton then fled the scene in a Subaru. It's a Subaru. There's a picture right here. He's got a knife between his teeth, holding $20 bills. He's got 2 empty bottles of Jameson behind him, and he's sitting on like a red Subaru Legacy with a Taz from Looney Tunes license plate. Just to paint a picture for you.
Yeah.
This incident follows Hutton's previous arrest in early 2025 when he allegedly threatened employees at an IRS office in Garfield, New Jersey. He faced charges for making terroristic threats and resisting arrest in that case. He's now facing these additional charges in Pennsylvania, including assault with a deadly weapon and making more terroristic threats. Authorities in both Pennsylvania and New Jersey continue to investigate the incidents. The problem with crazy indie wrestlers like that is they're all over the place. You can never pin them down. They're in this city, they're in this state, they're over here. And a guy like this, the picture I painted for you, he's already had 2 violent crimes in a few months this year. Got to get him off the streets. It's time to impound that Subaru. There's no way he's paying the bills on that thing. There's no way.
This guy,
he's breaking into the IRS, telling them that he's going to bomb them. There's no way he's up to date on his taxes. Just arrest him.
This guy sounds like he wears those Looney Tune shirts from the 90s where like Bugs Bunny and Taz had like really big chains on and tattoos.
I'm going to tweet the link to the article right now, so if anyone wants to see the picture.
Gotta get it out. Absolutely unhinged indie wrestling.
I assume he does the shit where they're just like smashing light tubes on him. Like the hardcore deathmatch shit is just absolutely insane. I see clips of that online and I'm like, those people have parents. Like, where are they? Where have they been?
I love indie wrestling. It's always a good time. Because it's completely unhinged. It makes no sense. Some of those people are trying to be serious and pursue a career in wrestling. But if you ever want a good laugh, watch some indie wrestling promos that are cut.
You gotta pull up my Twitter real quick so you can see that guy.
It's
I'm trying to figure out what the bottles are behind him, but I can't. I also can't tell if it's red liquid in the bottle or if it's just red from the car.
Oh my god.
But yeah, character. I think he's got double pocket watches, too.
He does have double pocket watches, yeah.
He always knows what time it is.
Yeah, double pocket watches.
It's Tiger time.
Is that a fanny pack? He's wearing a fanny pack. Some Jameson in the back there. And some other...
I can't tell what's on the right. It kind of looks like a wine bottle.
It could be. Sweet berry wine. Who knows? He's got a stuffed tiger.
I assume he's had a Tiger King bit at some point.
He must have. There's no way.
All right, let's let Dubs. Charlie Tiger, get him the fuck out of here. I did say a Sheetz store, by the way, Logan. It's fucking Sheetz.
Get that guy off the street. Yeah, get this guy off the streets. All right, let's let Dubs get healed up here. He's got to go take some NyQuil and get the hay. He lost an hour of sleep, and that was the hour he was going to use to get his life together, and now it's gone.
I was up till like 6:30.
That was
morning.
You were going to use that hour, and then they took it away. Goddamn government. Took your hour of sleep.
Government taking my time.
Government taking my hours.
They took her
jerk.
Appreciate everybody too.
All right, for Dubs, I'm Armchair. We will see you next week on Great North Sports.